Hey, what up? What up? It's the homie Pedro. I'm kind of going through the ringer lately. Today I'm gonna talk about the importance of community, um, and just not being alone, not isolating. I talked about agoraphobia in my last channel. Agoraphobia is like fear of leaving the house, stuff like that, and then it just compiles, anxiety, stuff like that. But so yesterday was the 7 year anniversary of my friend Cody Belgard. That was cops took his life and got away with it, and so yesterday I didn't even. I just stayed in bed for I want to say the first 10 hours, other than getting up to use the bathroom. Depression's real, man. Uh, I was just thinking about all this survivor's guilt about if maybe had he not met me, that he would still be alive. And that is something I normally don't do. People have watched my channel know that I've had my differences with my mom, and I don't know. Some told me just call her, so I called her and I was talking to her, and she lives with my older sister. So then my older sister, when they were both when I reminded them, I was like, yeah, it's Cody's like 7 years ago was, and they were like, oh my gosh, and then we just started talking about the fun times we had with them, and how funny he was and all this stuff, and my sister, I hadn't talked to her for a year, so we're just catching up, and she's just my sister's always been a hustler, mover, shaker, one of them types. And then she's also my older sister, gives great advice. And she told me about, she had to cut certain people out of her life, namely a brother that I have. Um, and again, I want to thank the Handen for, like, when I heard his story, I was like, man, maybe I should just bury the hatchet with my mom, you know. But I just remember I was feeling overwhelmingly depressed. And then when I got to talking, I mean, I was on the phone with them for seriously about 4 hours, like 3 hours with my mom, about an hour with my sister. And we were talking about just everything you could think about. And I told them that I've been a little bummed out ever since I had my stomach surgery well over a year ago. It was July of last year. That just my immune system sucks. Like, I've been sick these past 2 months. I've been sick. It seems like I'm sick every other week. Um, but yeah. And then my mom's like, "Oh, no way! I have a coworker that's like that." And I was like, "Oh, dang. Okay, that's makes me not feel alone, you know." Because I don't care what people say. Like, you could be surrounded by a bunch of people and still feel alone. And I try not to pass on my trauma to my fiance, but she could tell that, like, I was sad, just didn't really want to talk, and I was just trying to keep myself busy without numbing myself with alcohol. And yeah, at the end of the day, at the end of our conversation, I just went for a walk out at night. It's pretty cold, not no snow on the ground, but cold. Um, Utah weather can it's the land of four seasons. Anybody that's been out here, it could feel like summertime and then quickly feel like wintertime within like 2 hours. But anyway, so I was just walking in the cold, drinking water, and I just started talking to God, my friends, stuff like that. I never really hear anything back. Did have a crazy experience though once. I was like really close to death and I could hear my grandma. But that's a different story. Um but yeah, I just started letting out people's names, how I miss them. Like my homie Vita, he passed away when I was 18, breaking up a fight. And I missed him, and I was like, man, you beat up my brother so bad in front of me because my brother would always pick on me, one of my brothers. And man, when I'm telling you, there's some people that are wiry, like freakishly strong and wiry. Like he grabbed my brother, and my brother was like horizontal and slammed him against the fence, and my brother's like holding onto the fence, like no. And to me, I was just like, and he would always be like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry you had to see that." Like he just a good kid. Um, one time we were on the bus together, and there was this guy beating on some girl, and he got up and beat the crap out of that dude. And again, he was like, "Man, I'm sorry you had to see that." Blah blah blah. And at the time, I had a lot of like stuff on me, and this happened at a bus stop that was right in front of the police station. So I had to just leave everything on the bus, and then like I'm like, "Oh no, it's cool, man. I could always re up. Like I'm good." He's like, "I know, but we almost made it." I was like, "Dude, you did the right thing. Like nobody else was doing anything, and um, and then my homie JP, I miss him because he was always just so honest, funny, great skateboarder. Um, yeah, and then my homie Cody, he great, at hip hop and stuff like that. And you know, it's sad, man. When ladies, man, everything. Like he was funny because I was the opposite growing up. I was always shy around women. I would like stutter, like and girls would give me their phone number, like here, call me. I'm like, oh, okay. um, yeah, I had no game, and then my homegirls, Samantha, Frida, Eve, she was like 11, um, and then and their brother, Michael, and they passed away in a car accident. Uh, on the way back from the reservation, and you know, it always hurts when someone so bright is taken so early, and especially if it's certain circumstances, like oh, and then yeah, my friend Charles, he was also extremely funny, extremely ballsy. I mean, and he would fight people all the time and lose and still fight people like but yeah, he was great. And then his dad, the Vietnam vet, passed away with a broken heart. But with the dad, my dad was 75. It didn't hit as hard as these people that passed away at such a young age. And it was always something really dumb, really dumb. Breaking up a fight, getting in a high speed car chase with police and losing them, and then the police getting mad that he lost them in a car, and yeah, so they took their revenge and then hid behind the union. Yeah, passed away over $40, and then the countless overdoses. and it just felt good to have that communication, even though it was just over the phone. It was like I was chilling with them, just talking about all the craziness. And yeah, but another thing that happened, I woke up, my fiance woke me up, and she's like, "Where's the car?" Because like we share a ride and stuff like that. And I was like, "What do you mean?" So get up to look for the car, not not there. So I'm thinking it's stolen or something. Um, looks like I got to pay for a tow bill. Help pay for it. We'll find a way. But that's the importance of community communication. Because I didn't even talk to her yesterday. So even though we were staying in the same spot, it was just one of those days where it's like she was mad at me because relapsing, and then lose my job before I relapsed. I lost my job. I got sick, and then the manager, he was like, "Yeah, just come in tomorrow," and I was like, "Yeah, fine, yeah, I'll do that," because also I had lost my phone for 2 days, and this weird Paylocity app stuff, you have to be like in the Wi-Fi area. And I was like, "Hey man, I lost my phone. I know it's like a no call no show thing. I lost my phone. I would like to still come in tomorrow." He's like, "Yeah, man, fine." And then of course you get the HR. I got an HR email saying like, "Oh, going in a different direction," which is fine. I mean, honestly, I was just gonna stay there for the 90 days so that my friend could like get the $500 bonus and then bounce out because I'll finish up trade school by then and then start doing that welding. So yeah, I know this video is a little longer. Um, but yeah, man. For Pete's sake, like, share, subscribe. Let me know, how did you guys ever cope with the loss of a loved one or a friend that was taken too fast? Like, how long did it take? Or does that pain just last forever? Because my dad told me that when his brother was murdered, unalive, he said that pain never goes away. And I think he's I think he's right on about that. Oh, and I talked to my son because I had he's like, "Dad, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah," even though I wasn't. But he's like, "Yeah, what happened?" I was like, "I lost my phone because I was supposed to hang out with my son on Friday." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Daddy's dumb, huh?" He's like, "No, no, don't talk bad about yourself." He was an 11-year-old, and we were just talking about all the fun that we've been having, how it's cold outside, how he's doing good at school, got an A in science, a 99.3, which is pretty good. And then I told him, I was like, yeah, science was my thing too, but not math. Like, I don't know how he's that good at math. But yeah, the power of the community. All right, one love, peace out, stay safe.